it says I'm live. And I hope this works where someone can see my face. Let me see what's going on here. Oakland Raiders update NFL competition live stream. Now, I don't see my event. Let me see here. There. Oh boy. That's the kitchen one. Stream now. Click on this. Hey, stream is good. The health is good. And I thank AT&T for bringing my live stream back to life. It was a network issue. And I will explain. I'll go on the watch page and say, I am back. Thank you, AT&T. Thank you, Geraldine. Thanks, Geraldine of AT&T. Got it. Hey, can you all see me now? Hey, I don't see my YouTube. Can you all see me now? Hey, I don't see my YouTube. There it is. Ta-da. I know it's late. I'm not going to be on long because I apologize. All right, cool. I apologize for the technical difficulty, but let me explain what happened. And let me put this on mute. All right. There. What happened was that. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on with your question. Let me explain to the other viewers what happened. All right. Yes, there is, but let me explain what happened. All right. First of all, this is what happened. And I'm meta tagging this one. I had a plan that predated the new unlimited packages, right? And I obviously use my phone for video blogging as well as the normal things you use a smartphone for. So what happened was that I had a data plan that had limits on it, and because of my constant live streaming, I finally reached one of those limits tonight. And it wasn't an account issue. My bill was paid. It wasn't anything like that. No. It's just that simply what happened was what you saw, or more appropriately didn't see, me. And so I thought at first maybe it's just because of where I'm located, right? So I moved rooms over to the kitchen. But that didn't solve it. So finally I got a brain. You know, like if I only had a brain, right? If I only had a brain, the coward, the Tin Man, right? I finally got a brain. And the brain said, hey, call AT&T technical support. Because I called AT&T at first, and it gave me the customer support line, right? And I thought, this is not so good. And then they said, call back, and then it did the automatic hang up thing, right? And so I thought, okay, so this is not going well. So for a moment, I just started bagging it and, going to bed, right? Yeah, we're back. But then something said to me, you know what? You should call AT&T technical support, but this time, when you get the voice prompt, make sure to say technical support. Okay? And I did, and instead of getting there's a woman that I believe was hired who sounds like one of the old operators from the 1940s. Instead of getting that mechanical voice, don't mean to offend her because it's a human being, I got Geraldine, who obviously is from someplace in South America, the southern south of the border. And I'm not complaining because, as I told Geraldine on the phone, she was a godsend. completely godsend, just outstanding, and worked with me to first change my network settings. Well, before that, she upgraded me to the new unlimited plan, which is actually cheaper than the plan that I had, where I was spending upwards of $220 a month. Now this is lower, but it's more powerful because I can use the unlimited plan. I can have my personal hotspot active, and then do what I'm doing right now, which is live streaming. So to answer the question of one of you, can I stream at the NFL owners meeting? If I have the right network connection and settings, I can stream anywhere. And so now I have the latest AT&T unlimited plan that is called Unlimited Plus, and that's what I'm using. So if this is sounding like an endorsement for AT&T, that's because it is. It's an endorsement for AT&T, and I even told her. She said, "So what were you doing?" And I said, "Well, I have this live stream show which has gained viewership, and tonight was a big night as far as news, and so I wanted to basically make sure everyone got up to date, right?" And so, and Corey Brown says, "Will it be allowed?" I would be surprised. The last time I was at the owners' meetings, I had no problem making individual videos. Let me explain to you how the format works, okay? And that's a very good question, all right? That's a very good question as to whether it be allowed. Basically, I'm going to get there on Sunday, and what you're going to have is a number of people, reporters, lined up in different areas to see which owners come through and ask them questions. Sometimes owners stop to talk to the press. Sometimes they don't. My plan is to do live stream segments rather than one big long go. Having said that, when I think of one big long go, I think of like something that's like 5 or 6 hours long. I'll do an hour-long segment, for the entry. Then I'll switch over, do another hour-long segment. There'll be different acts, if you will, okay? And that way you'll get a flow. Sometimes you may stop and talk to a person, and other times when I'm in the lobby, you'll see me taking you around to what things look like. I might run into someone and stop and talk and say, "Hey, would you like to be on live stream?" And they'll say, "Yeah, no," and then I'll turn it around, toward them or have them in the picture. It'll be very free-flowing in its form. And a first for me, because I'm used to doing individual vlogs. And not that I won't do those vlogs, I will. Last year, 2 years ago, when I was at the annual meeting, same location, I made individual videos and uploaded them quickly. And I had an entirely different technology. This is about going into a year that I've had the iPhone 6S. And, of course, I'm one of a set of YouTube partners with subscriber base over 10,000 that can use the YouTube Live Mobile. And I want to thank YouTube, and I want to particularly thank YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki for really coming to bat for me and correcting some monetization issues. Now, I know this is a little off topic, but let me explain. Because of the terrorist attacks and also the Trump administration's immigration ban, there has been a heightened level of sensitivity regarding online content that even discusses terrorism, okay? Because that content has been mixed in. Hey, John, welcome to Former Horseman. How are y'all doing? Has been mixed in with the bad content. Has been mixed in, is there. In other words, beheadings and other things that you don't want to put your ads up to, right? So a number of advertisers have basically taken to saying, we're not going to put our ads on YouTube anymore. One of them being AT&T, I might add. And that, hey, Bill, how are you? And that activity has caused YouTube to react where it's basically algorithmically scanning any video that has this language or that language or this. And Susan came to bat for me because I make political commentary videos, and I made a number about how President Obama got Amir Olawaki, and you get the idea. And one of them was demonetized. That one I mentioned. I thought, what the heck? There's nothing in there other than me talking a picture of him. They stepped in and said, hey, look, let us, because they saw my tweet to Susan's account, and she's got an action for me. So that's a very long-winded way of thanking for both YouTube and prior to that AT&T. And now I'm back. So basically the bottom line is the technology that we have right now today for producing instant media that can rival television broadcasts has never been better. This is outstanding, and so I feel indebted to you all for coming to this type of appointment television, this type of, if you will, cross between a Netflix and a CBS or a CNN, and tuning in and asking questions. So with all that, now I get to you. We're back. Now, okay, Zinni, Dr. D said there's a press conference on Saturday at Oakland Coliseum. Yes, there is. Do you know what they will be presenting? If so, what they will be presenting on Monday owners meeting? Yeah, what would be presented at that? Okay, let's see here. It's a question. Hey, Barry Lee says it was weird not having you online, but now you're here. Thank you. I'm here. Thank you. Yeah. What is going on is that on Saturday there will be a press conference to unveil Oakland's plan, and Ronnie Lott will be there. Rodney Pete's flying up. Marcus Allen, the mayor of Oakland, will open the proceedings as I understand it. All the people, Fortress, all the people who've been involved will be there. They've coordinated with Save Oakland Sports and the Coalition of Oakland Fans as well. So yes, and the mayor's office under Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf has done a wonderful job of coordinating activities. Okay, so yeah, and so Anthony, hey, Antonio, how are you? You haven't missed anything because due to technical difficulties I've discussed, where AT&T has helped solve those technical difficulties, we're back. Now, John, thank you, John. God bless you too. God bless you too. Ellis, no, yeah, I know. Ellis County, all signs pointed to Carson too. Remember that? Raiders ahead to Carson. They had us all out, So this just, hey, John, but you called the mayor. That's the difference. That's the thing. You called the mayor, okay? You called the mayor. Hey, so what I want to do is I want to walk you through, because everyone says Oakland doesn't have a plan, right? I want to walk you through. Thanks. I don't know if they coordinated with Caval, but anyway, yeah. It seems like owners don't care about Oakland. I hope they don't give the city a cold shoulder. It's Ray Ratto. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna get you all guys deliberately mad because I know we don't do this, but Ray Ratto said Oakland fans care less about Raiders leaving than San Diego and St. Louis fans. Okay? Okay. Now, what do you think? I say wrong. And here's why I say Ray Ratto is wrong. Now, I normally don't talk about another media person, but I will. And, again, why not? I'm going to talk about another media person. Someone says Ray Ratto has 3 tons of fun with Vinny and Jason. That's hilarious. Look, I have known Ray Ratto since 19, I want to say 97. And we even shared an airplane ride with him in 2000. We were both on the way to the Super Bowl. And I like Ray. I have to admit, I don't read his stuff much. The last piece that I read from Ray was actually in reference to something Boss Man turned me on to because he was pissed off with Rado's take, where Rado had said what I just put out there. Ray has obviously not been to the Oakland Raiders fan coalition meeting or paid attention to what was going on with State of Oakland sports or anything else. I mean, people have jobs and everything, but the bottom line is that considering all the obligations that everybody has, I think overall they've been responsive. I'm just going to be very critical again of the city, and I say this for this reason, not to be mean to the city of Oakland and the mayor, my god sister, Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, but the problem overall is that the city does not have a point person. And to be blunt, I've lobbied and lobbied and lobbied to be that point person. Now, the mayor would say the point person is Claudia Capio, but then with respect now, it's Ronnie Lott. My whole point is that there's no one person whose only job is this. By contrast, when I headed the Super Bowl effort, that was my job. They cleared the path for me. I had a salary. I had an office. I built a website. I built a brand. I was able to establish a nonprofit. And I did all that myself, but the city of Oakland gave me, specifically Robert Bob, less so Jerry Brown, but the city of Oakland gave me the room to do that. There is no equivalent to me this time. Libby is trying to be, or has tried to be, the face, rather than really what I instructed her to do some time ago, which is you establish a task force, and you have a head of the task force, and see these different working groups, and you let the task force with your name on it work for you. You don't run around scurrying on trying to do this, that, and the other thing. Didn't listen. Okay? Didn't listen. Now, here's the thing, all right? Someone says, did I read Jim Jack's article? Hey, who is Jim Jack's? Is that the WordPress blog? Let me come back to that, all right? But anyway, Independent says there will be lots of Oakland Raider fans attending the NFL owners meeting in Phoenix, Arizona. Here, okay? Independent says this, all right? Independent, I'm putting you on blast there. Dizzy Deed from Australia. Dizzy. All the talk on the NFL website says no opposition to move to Vegas. The owners are saying, sorry, still getting used to this vlogging, but love what you are doing. Keep up the good work, Raider Dean. Thank you, Dizzy Dean. Appreciate it. Dizzy Dean from Australia, from Down Under. You didn't answer my question about Michelle Janicki. I'm gonna put that down here. Say, hey, Dizzy Dean, what about Michelle Janicki? I think I spelled her name right. Do you know what I'm talking about? All right. Flags and thumbs down because YouTube recommended. Again, bad recommended flow. Okay. I saw a vlog today that said 28 of 32 owners were going to vote yes on relocation. I tried to copy the link, but my iPhone wouldn't let me do it. What's your opinion on that? That tells me nothing. I've heard all kinds of numbers. I hear 18 no's. Anything. This is just like Carson a year ago. Plus, you get in that room, anything happens. You think it's going to go one way, then it turns around and goes the other. And that's where we are at. But again, as I said to you early on, the big deal for me is that, and I want your view on this, is that the land, I'm writing this down, the Russell Road land is 90 million, okay? Right. Now, a lot of you say I always talk about Vegas. I don't talk about Oakland. Well, tonight I'm going to change that. I have a surprise for you. No, not drawings, but it's something that does demonstrate that there's a plan. Okay? Hold on a second. File, recent documents. Let's see here. You ready to see something cool? As Kato said in the Seth Rogen Green Hornet. It's a cool movie. You're going to see something cool. All right. Folks, here comes the something that's not as cool as what you might think, but it is cool. Hold on a second, all right? Oh, by the way, there's the YouTube logo. Ta-da! Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas, Oakland plan comparison. Okay? So, we have a comparison of plans. Hey, Phil Castro, hold off on the question for a second and re-ask it. Let me walk everybody through what we've got here, okay? Because I want people to see this, all right? I want people to see what we're talking about here. We've got Las Vegas and Oakland, all right? Okay? Now, let's see here. All right. Let's see here. All right. Folks, using the R term that you saw is not permitted here. It's gauche. Now, so I had to block him. Anyway, here we go. Now, factor. Private finance, Las Vegas. The Raiders have reported finance via loan from Bank of America. The Lot Group includes Fortress Investments, an NYSE private equity firm. Okay? Thank you for retweeting it. That can work with banks globally to deliver debt at a cost of capital to market rates that can be obtained anywhere elsewhere in the United States. Fortress also has the capability to provide equity financing and has experience in large-scale property development. Okay, in fact, they've actually financed 12 stadiums. Now, number 2, project cost. Oakland is 1.3 billion. Las Vegas is 2.35 billion. So even this is not right. It's a lot larger than that. Basically, the Las Vegas plan is $1 billion more than the Oakland plan, and I'm going to personally revise that one. All right. Now, let's see here. Additional cost variables. The climate in Las Vegas requires that a stadium include a roof. In addition, the team will need to build a practice facility before it can relocate. The costs are currently estimated at $300 million and $100 million respectively. Due to the mild California coastal weather, the Oakland Stadium will not need a roof. The Raiders already have a practice facility in the Bay Area. Okay? Public finance. The state of Nevada provides $750 million via hotel tax, and it says here that the conditions of that finance will include that the state own the building and the land, which means that the additional financing for the project cannot be secured. Now, you go back here, the city has pledged $200 million toward infrastructure upgrades via but-for taxes on the site. Actually, it's $250 million. That finance is paid back by revenues derived from the stadium and is not contingent on the city owning the development. In turn, that commitment does not expose the city's general fund. All right. The NFL G4 program provides loans for stadium construction and upgrades. The standard sum for a new stadium is $200 million, which would apply in Las Vegas unless amended. This could be offset by a relocation fee. To encourage the Raiders to stay in Oakland, the NFL increased that amount for an Oakland stadium to $300 million. The project is not subject to a relocation fee. Okay. Now, let's see here. Where are we next? Land. Land is undeveloped, has no infrastructure, and is neither graded nor paved. It is part of desert. That land would be then transferred to the state stadium authority as a condition of public finance. Other sites, such as a Wynn golf course and Cashman Field Center, but both have existing uses, and there is no report of the owners agreeing to a sale. Location of the Oakland Coliseum and the Coliseum Arena have both voted to make it available for a new Raiders stadium, which could be via lease or purchase. The arena will be demolished, with the Warriors moving to another site after the 2018 season. Now, I have to say one thing personally. That's a mistake. The arena should not be demolished. That's a waste of money, and it's a waste of a great facility. I'm just saying that right there. Demolishing, that's a big mistake. All right, I mean, it's just like we're giving up. Okay? Now, shared use. Under Nevada Senate bill, the Raiders would have to secure a new stadium with the UNLV football program, okay? In the past, the Oakland site had three tenants: the Raiders, the A's, and the Warriors. The Warriors have broken ground, on a new stadium in San Francisco, and the A's new leadership is expected to select their future site shortly. If they were to stay, the site has enough space to host a baseball stadium, football stadium, and staging during construction, meaning that there are no site-related obstacles to the Raiders breaking ground. The city also holds an option to terminate the A's lease, but there's no need to use it due to the excess land available. All right? Infrastructure. The infrastructure needs on the vacant land in Las Vegas are yet to be detailed, but will include overall civil engineering, roads, sewers, power utilities, and drainage. The Oakland land's existing use for a stadium and arena, existing use is for stadium and arena, so infrastructure merely needs to be upgraded to suit the new facility, okay? There. Transportation. The stadium authority has stated that any work will be needed to be coordinated subject to the pre-existing priorities of state and local transportation authorities. And October 4th, 2016 Nevada NDOT report listed projects needed for a new stadium that could get into the $1 billion range. It includes major freeway work that would take 5 to 10 years to complete, and a new monorail comparable system. In Oakland's case, there are no stadium sites with better existing access to transportation than the Oakland Coliseum site. We know that, okay? Now, and finally, operations. Vegas has yet to identify who will operate the stadium and assume the responsibility for maintenance and capital improvements. Oakland has a long history of operating both an arena and stadium at the current site. Okay, so there you go. That is how the plans compare out, all right? And that's how the plans compare out, okay? So there you go. Now, what do I think of what I've been presented? I think I need to go back myself and correct some of the wording, because, there's some things that need to be adjusted. Now, go back to your questions. Let's see here. Ricky Jordan, do you feel like Libby embarrassed your family for turning her back on the Raiders and making you look foolish? No, Ricky, I don't think that at all. I don't know. No, not at all. Let's see here. Barry Lee, Zinni, is there a way we can view that comparison chart, maybe say on your website or even download? Yeah, I'll Barry Lee, I will put it on Scribd, okay? Hold on a second. I have, I'm very good at blocking, all right? So, that person's done. I love blocking people. I don't hesitate. Boom. So anyway, let's see. Barry Lee. Let's see here. The chart will be on Scribd. Okay? You're welcome. Yeah, folks, don't see. Here's the thing. Hey, John Marks, these people that I block, I don't think of them as a one person that I'm getting rid of. That's a person behind a digital identity that they can reestablish with someone else in moments' notice if they want to, and we just block them again. I have no sweat doing that. So if you see something that's inappropriate, don't think, oh, should I give them another chance? No. Get rid of them. And what happens is, a person's messed up, they will write me and apologize, and I'll unblock them. Okay? But let them do that. Don't waste your time hanging around. Don't make this a job. Make it fun. Like, oh, whack-a-mole. Remember the night we had Whack-A-Racist? Remember we had the Whack-A-Racist contest? Kind of like that. Do that. Okay? All right. Right. Exactly. Off with their heads. Marie Antoinette style. Guillotine. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. All right? Willie Razzo, I want them to stay in Oakland. My biggest concern is it seems like a scramble. Why haven't plans been released? Why is perception Oakland hasn't done anything? And then Zinni says, Zinni, why would the NFL, Jerry Jarmilla says, Zinni, why would the NFL say Oakland may get a team when Raiders leave? Why not give Las Vegas a new team and keep the Raiders in Oakland? Wait a minute, who said that? The NFL. Did they say that? That's interesting. Did they? So, that's interesting. It would be a very crowded West Coast if that happened. It really would. But, okay, now, is there any information on the press conference on Saturday? Yeah, I don't have a time, okay? And hold on a second. Let me, oh, cool. You got Friendly Funny before I get. Okay, good. All right. Okay. You got it. Cool. Oh, I see. Really? So, I mean, look, this area is big enough for two teams. Why not? It really is. Now, it really is big enough for two teams. And maybe, I'm not ready to push the Raiders out because there's so much of our identity. But we do have this template for a team that we had, and John Marks will remember this, during the USFL, and that was called the Oakland Invaders. So how about this? We have the Oakland Invaders. If the Raiders go to Las Vegas, we have the Oakland Invaders crushing the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Wouldn't that be the ultimate revenge? Wow, but okay, just saying. Corvette 57-427. I only support the Raiders, not a new Oakland team. There you go. Now, Kanye says he's confused. David King, if the Raiders get approved for Vegas, then everybody needs to boycott every single game next year. I agree. David King says, statement, ding, David King gets the Statement of the Night Award. And we're going to basically highlight that and appropriately, okay? Statement of the Night. There. Statement of the Night, okay? Let's see here. Okay, that person is blocked. Did I get him? I got him! Gone. Okay, now next. Cool. All right. Now, that's next. Let's see. Kanye says, no, it's going to be pure cool if Marshawn Lynch goes to the Raiders. Matthew Silva, hi. The vote is seemingly happening Monday. Seems Oakland has to pull a rabbit out of its hat this weekend to keep the Raiders here. What's the rabbit? I think the rabbit is something with the land and the A's and the agreement. But here's the point. Because we now know Russell Road costs $90 million, there's a lot of room that Fortress and City of Oakland on the Lot Group can play below that and make it cheaper, right? I'm just saying, okay? Zinni, what's your gut feeling about this vote? My gut feeling is that it'll be postponed because there are just so many unknowns. That's my gut feeling. Again, the Raiders will be going into $1 billion debt situation, and I don't see where they're going to pay that. I've seen the numbers, okay, and I just don't see it. I ran the numbers. I don't see it. And not only that, here's something that's even more troubling. When you think about the level of revenue now and what they need to clear their debts is higher in terms of higher the cost of luxury boxes, more luxury box, that sort of thing. It means that you have to ask the question, can the market absorb that much more? It's one thing to just put numbers up there without absorption rates and a real analysis of the market, but it's another thing to apply realistic absorption rates and analysis of the market to those numbers, and you get a different picture really, really quick. If they're allowing the Raiders to walk in on smoke and mirrors, again, Mark Davis looks like Mo Green. I don't care how many times I revisit this deal on a daily basis, I cannot avoid seeing that. I can't, all right? Now, Ricky Jordan, what did you ask? 831 Scott says, I did see an article that even said that if the Raiders leave, the NFL is not giving up on Oakland, so Oakland outlaws or its invaders. Hey, Zenny, if the Raiders can't get Marshawn Lynch, let's see here. Okay, now we've got this person who we will... Wait, oh, good, you got him. Okay, good. Hey, this is cool. We got him. Awesome. Awesome. All right. The Oakland Raiders are making a big mistake of moving again. I agree. What happens if the Las Vegas economy crashes again? Hey, that's a very good... No, another great question by The Independent. Woo, The Independent is on a roll. Cue The Independent. The Independent asks, the Oakland Raiders are making a big mistake of moving again. What happens if the Las Vegas economy crashes again? If it crashes, it takes the hotel tax revenue with it, which damages the bond issue, which is the raison d'etre for the $750 million subsidy. That is what happens. That is what happens, okay? That's what happens. And that very well could happen. And look, it's not only the economy. This is flimsy. A terrorist attack, just a simple act of terrorism anywhere in Las Vegas or the airport or in anywhere that happens to feed into Las Vegas, that could do it too. All right? Look at how long it took Paris and France to recover from the Paris attacks. So that's really an awful situation to put a team in. Almost half of its revenue is expected to come from tourists, the flow of which can be negatively impacted by not just a bad economy, but a terrorist incident. You're going to base a significant proportion of your revenue on that. That is woohoo, 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 woohoo. See? Hey, just saying. If there were a terrorist attack, we'd have bigger problems than hotel taxes. Hey, if there were a terrorist attack, yeah, but here's the thing. LX9933, what kind of attack would there be? I mean, there could be, look what happened in London, right? Okay? Look, I mean, there's so many things that can happen that you're basically pinning your stadium financing hopes on and your operational hopes on. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy, okay? It just is. Let's see here. Hey, Zenny, did you hear about Raiders getting 27 votes to move to Vegas? I don't see that. Because it's not... See, people are trying to guess the votes. And even when I said there are 18 no's, I'm not sure anything can happen in those meetings. Again, I've been there. And that's what happens. You know, the people that are guessing, Las Vegas wasn't there at Carson. They haven't experienced that before. But Oakland has been there twice. Oakland fans have been there before. We've seen this. So we know what this looks like. All right? Barry Lee, my question is, can the NFL afford bad public opinion by disregarding tradition and history? I don't think they can. John McClendon, Zinster, why wouldn't they meeting Illinois followers just vote no on Monday 30-2. That could happen. Let's see. How can you see it? No option. Libby has killed Oakland. I disagree there. Let's see here. John Marks, good night. Philip Castro. Leanne Norda, I read somewhere this is still a 55,000 seat stadium proposal for Fortress. I really hope not. Me too. Because I'm pretty sure that would be a no-go. Thoughts? I agree with you. It's not that it's a no-go, okay? It's a go because I talked to Eric Grubman about this. That's a very good question. Some time ago. And there's a feeling around the league that smaller stadiums are the wave of the future because you get, look at what's going on with the tarp. You've got a better chance of a sellout. And not only that, look, it's an admission that the football organizations make their money at the NFL level from television and less so from fans. You've got brokers that are selling tickets left and right that get up these giant blocks of tickets, and so they assure, in a lot of cases, a sellout, and then those tickets go unresold, and so you see stadiums that are empty, or not empty, but less well attended, okay? I believe that's what you're going to see in the Las Vegas Raiders case. You're not going to see the kind of sellouts you see here. That's not happening. And when you do, it will be with people you didn't recognize. And you're going to say, gee, this doesn't feel like a Raider game. It feels like a 49er game. So the Raiders are basically going to wind up becoming the 49ers. Now, here is a possibility where the Raiders' image winds up staying with Oakland. And Mark gets his team, but it's stripped. It's stripped. Think about that. Think about that. Now, let's see here. What do they have to do to make the Raiders move to Las Vegas? Do you think Al Davis would be doing the same thing right now? No, I don't. I don't. Absolutely not. No. His home is too much here. And at his age, he wouldn't want to leave and move anyway. I mean, why bother? He's got too many roots here, his wife, everything else. Why bother? And no, not at all. Question, what are the chances of NBA expanding into Oakland Warriors leave? Well, if we keep the arena, they're great. If we tear down the arena, I think they're less great. The arena just needs to be upgraded. It doesn't need to be torn down. Let's see here. The NFL has a lot of explaining to do should the NFL owners approve the move to Las Vegas. Roger Goodell will be forced to resign as a result of 3 teams moving from 2015 to 2017. That, I love Roger. Roger's a great person. And I hope that's not the end game, but I can't see the NFL surviving this dramatic level of change. I just can't. I think this will sound a death knell to the NFL as we know it. It will. LX9933. Why were the Rams and Chargers not stripped of their names? Why would the Raiders? Serious question. Different animal. Well, because I'm assuming it would happen after a lawsuit. I'm not saying it's something the NFL would just do. But our city would have to have enough cojones to want to do that. And I think it's a real test for this mayor. Because, again, I said this the night before, if the Raiders leave, I can't see Libby getting reelected with all the stuff that has happened on her watch. And I love Libby to death. But, oh my God. She's made a lot of mistakes. Okay? And I would be dishonest if I didn't say so. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. All right? Let's see. Stadium site will be Tech City with a baseball stadium. Libby is making a great business decision turning back on the Raiders. I disagree with that. I think that what was originally planned with the 3 teams and a city around the 3 teams, like a sports city, Coliseum city we originally had, that was really exciting. And, it's too bad that wasn't kept going, made a going effort. We got there because Jean Quan, I'll never forget this, admitted that she underestimated the importance of the Warriors to Oakland. I'm not kidding you. She said that. Jean Quan was our previous mayor. She said that. So we have not been blessed over the past. We haven't been blessed since Elihu left. Our leadership in sports has been hit or miss. Elihu Harris, my boss, and I don't say that just because he was my boss, it was true, but it's true. He was the last great sports mayor Oakland had. Elihu Harris was the last great sports mayor Oakland had. And I got to call Elihu just to say hi. He was the last great sports mayor Oakland had. Sorry. Let's see here. Corvette says, Raiders should stay put in Oakland, and if NFL wants a team in Vegas, give them the expansion team in 5 years. I agree. These teams could be Sin City suckers. 831 Scott, Zenny, do you think Sheldon Adelson still wants the Raiders in Vegas? I think that if they get there, he's going to figure out some kind of way to get his hands involved. And it may not be in a way that Mark Davis likes. Davis may feel he's got the upper hand against Adelson because he's there. Adelson may feel he's got the upper hand because he's basically the unofficial mayor of Las Vegas. Now, let's see. How about Marshawn Lynch? Well, let's see what happens. So just Sean Laura. So just to make it clear, has Fortress leaped over all the hurdles necessary to make this happen other than Mark's acceptance? Do we have a site to build on? Of course we have a site to build on. It's the Coliseum. Yes. We had that figured out a long time ago, man. We had that figured out 2 years ago. In terms of the tear down, the rebuild, and the Raiders work with the city of Oakland on that. So that was never an issue. That is not an issue at all. We are light years ahead of Las Vegas in fundamental infrastructure and preparation and planning and entitlement areas. We are there. Okay? Now, Vegas fans in the thread like Ray Rattle looking at food. Okay. Sean Lewis, so the A's will leave voluntarily? Yes. David King Raiders, all this because of the A's? Not necessarily. Zinni, are the A's to blame for a lot of this? No, they're not. The reason why we are here is because, first of all, Oakland, regardless of the person in leadership, but has never had a sustained focus on sports. The last person to start a sports commission in Oakland was me. I started the Oakland-Alameda County Sports Commission, and within the Oakland-Alameda County Sports Commission was the Super Bowl 39 bidding committee. And for those of you who haven't seen this before, I know people like John Marks and others, and Anthony have, but it's worth this. Again, this is all right. Confirmed board of directors members from my sports commission. That was as of 8/31/99. This panel was used at our first kickoff meeting. I was really proud of what I did. Not only did I get these folks on board, including Lee Steinberg, but there's a guy, the now late Sanjeev Honda, who was described as a gadfly and all that. Sanjeev would come to city council meetings and on a regular basis, weekly then, and he would always at open forum point out the problems that hadn't been dealt with. Or, for example, he would talk about something funny like, here's one that I won't forget, because it's actually on one of my videos. There was an HIV program that Ron Dellums had established, and as part of this program, they were giving out free condoms, right? After the program funding went down, they never gave out all the condoms, and so you had 40,000 condoms in this one room. Sorry. Oh, every time I hear that, I just crack up, all right? But, Sanjeev was great at... Sanjeev was great at pointing to the absurdities of Oakland. And I didn't want Sanjeev was also great at pointing out what procedures and laws had been missed and where we were in danger of lawsuit. So one of the first actions I took when I established the Oakland Alameda County Sports Commission was I not only invited Sanjeev, but I met with him over lunch, and I asked him to be the official watchdog. After every meeting, Sanjeev would tell me what he thought was right and what we thought was wrong, and I'd fix it. So, he felt included, right? So I didn't have to worry about him being on the outside, because that's what happens. That's what, there's so many new people involved in this in Oakland, in terms of, not new to Oakland necessarily, but in terms of stuff like putting together an organization in a politically, like the Oakland Alameda County Sports Commission, in a politically volatile setting, that they didn't know how to install what I call mitigation measures. That was a mitigation measure. But the one thing is, when you have a task force, you establish a task force to bring everyone who would normally feel like on the outside in. And you give them a chance to feel like they have some ownership in the process and some pride in what the city is doing. And that's lacking. That's why I pushed Libby so hard for a task force with her name on it. She would have come out smelling like a loaf. She would look like the genius. But it would have been because the task force would have been mitigated a number of problems. Let me give you an example of what... that's actually not true, Louise. The city of Oakland has not had 22 years to build a stadium. I can't blame the Raiders because the Raiders never came to us. So I'm not letting you get away with that. Because of the way the arc of stadium changed over that time, the Raiders themselves could have initiated the new stadium process in Oakland. The Raiders did not do it, all right? So I don't want to hear that garbage about the Raiders and the city had all this time to do it. I'm talking about the mistakes Oakland has made, but I can talk about a ton of mistakes the Raiders have made. Commissioner Goodell partly said it was the Raiders' fault for not having a new stadium in Oakland, and that's true. The Raiders were so busy trying to figure out how to turn their lease or get out of it or make us look bad or violating different parts of the master lease agreement, they weren't focused on a new stadium. So I don't want to hear that, okay? That's wrong. The Raiders, if the NFL lets them move, will be Las Vegas' headache, not ours. Because they have been a headache, and it's shameful, and it's a fact, okay? I'm only speaking of fact. There's nothing personal toward the organization in terms of individuals, but as a whole, their track record of government relations across the board has been poor. That's just a fact. And so with all that, we're supposed to basically think for them and run the team. We don't own the team. And we're changing our chief administrative officer every 1.77 years since 1998 to now. No. Come on. All right. Let's see here. Mr. Dixon, how are you? I got on a little rant there. Can someone tell me what Oakland will present on Saturday? Serious question. Yeah, that's the new plan. Oakland will present, let's see. Oakland will present lot fortress plan. Let's see here. Anthony Antonucci called it. Yes, and renderings will be released on Saturday. That's right, Raymond Pass. Shame on anyone who blames the entire city of Oakland. It's foolish. James Smith. What about the reports about the city-county not returning the NFL's inquiries about purchasing the Coliseum land directly? That's not true. And the city and county insisting on working with Lot Group and Fortress. No. James Schmidt. Not true. Not true. Let's see. No truth to news about NFL and land in Oakland. Let me explain. According to the City of Oakland's Office of Economic Development Plan, a friend of mine who works there, the NFL approached Oakland in 2015 with the desire to buy the Coliseum land and be the developer, okay? when you're presented as the developer in the Oakland parlance, the Oakland does its due diligence, and it wants to see how much money you have that you can commit to a project. And so the NFL and the guys of Eric Grubman could not meet that standard. It's not that the NFL didn't have money, but Eric basically was answering for owners, and you're not sure if the owners want to commit their money to do that. That was a big risk. As someone told me, he's playing with our money. Someone who talked with the NFL owners who's working on this project. So for the NFL to turn around and then put on Oakland as if, hey, look, you didn't give us this land. Well, you didn't have the money to deal with it, to developing on it. You can't do development as a guess. You have to have committed financing. And the NFL didn't demonstrate that it had committed financing. That's the story. And if Vinny or Jason really wanted to do what Ed Graney did and asked me, they both have my phone numbers. They could have called me and said, hey, Zinni, tell us about this. But what they say is, they say league sources. But league sources only tell half the picture. They don't tell the whole picture. And they're not going to tell you the part that says, hey, we really don't look like a developer, do we? All right? Okay, Corvette, blame Mark. He hasn't talked Oakland when Carson didn't happen. He should have sat down with Oakland, but instead goes behind Oakland's back and talks to Vegas. Yeah, he didn't operate in good faith, which is a suable issue. How can Mark turn his back on fans? I don't get it. Let's see here. D. Dixon, I'm done if they move to Oakland. Zinni, 53 years a Raider. I understand. Let's see. Gupajita, isn't the same plan that Oakland Fortress presented in Florida? It is, but we haven't seen it. James Schmidt, okay, thank you for clarification. You're welcome. Let's see here. Question by T. Cooper. Do you think Sheldon Nelson will make it to have Bank of America pull out of any dealings with Mark Davis? Wow, I didn't think about that. You mean like a bait and switch? Let me think about that one and come back to you. That's provocative. So provocative, I may make a vlog about that one tomorrow. Domingo Mercado, the move to Las Vegas is going to happen, sadly. Domingo, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If it happens, I'll chuckle. It's a bad deal. It's just a plain bad deal. Okay? I will sit right there at the owners' meeting and go, Now, John Heike, I hope more than anyone that the Raiders would stay, but it just seems Oakland fans are going through this 5 stages of grieving at this point. James McClendon, Zinni, my heart is really distraught right now. We are being humiliated through the media by Mark Davis and the NFL by allowing this foolish debacle to play out in this classless way. I don't think we're being humiliated. I think what you have to do in social media is get on Twitter, tag the Raiders, and tell them how you feel. But if you sit there with like, oh, woe is me, as opposed to vlogging or just a tweet. These days, a tweet is powerful. Again, I said this last night. I think I said the night before that, but I'll say it again. How do we get our president? It's called fake news, right? It's called social media, right? What are we on now? Use it. Tag the Raiders account on Twitter. Do you have a Twitter account? How many people here have Twitter accounts? Just say yes. Just yes. 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 You say Raiders don't want to be here, though. No. You make the Raiders an offer they can't refuse. You think like the Godfather. Okay? Look at all these yeses. Look at all these people that have Twitter accounts. Yes, yes, yes. Even me, I'm writing yes. Okay? Yes. All of us. Okay? At the end of this session, which will come in about 9 minutes because it's almost midnight, I want everybody to tweet out this. This is what you should tweet, all right? Raiders. Just do this, all right? Do this. There's your tweet. Copy and paste that. Oakland Raiders must hashtag stay in Oakland, NFL account, Raiders account. Tweet that. In fact, I'll tweet it right now. I'll tweet it right now. Okay? I'll tweet it right now. I'll get the ball rolling. And if you see another tweet like this, retweet it, okay? The whole point is we should make hashtag stay in Oakland a Twitter trend. We should have so many out there that on worldwide trends is a primal scream. That makes a difference. That's where we are now, okay? And not only that, I'm putting where you put your tweet, put a photograph there, so that it gets more attention. Okay, put a photograph there. All right, so it gets more attention. That's what you have to do. So that it gets more engagement. Put the photograph in there. All right. Now, like, and voila. Let me show you what I did real quick. All right, so you can get an idea for those of you who are wondering. That's what I did. See, Oakland Raiders must stay in Oakland. NFL Raiders. See that? And I am at Zinny62. Right there. You go. Okay. So that's what I did. You can do the same thing. It takes little time. You can do it, and if you want to vary the tweet, like, where it goes here, right? Thank you, right? There you go. I already got a retweet from thank you. Got a retweet there. Thank you very much, right? Thank you. It says, Zenny, are you going to play Benjamin Alton? No, I'm not. And if you ask that question again, I'll ban you. And I'll tell you why, John, I feel that way. Because Benjamin Albright, when I said, hey, Vegas isn't real and you pay me and everything, okay. And I was like, hey, dude, pay me. You're ready, right? And I was aggressive. But he, in turn, went holier than thou and said, well, I'm going to have your NFL credential taken away, like he's God or something. And then he said, and then he took a list of my domains, which doesn't have my exact personal information, but he tried to do that. He put it on Twitter. And that was low rent. So when you do that, you don't get any money from me. You understand what I'm saying, John? Does that register? Okay. You got it? All right. Okay, cool. He was banned. All right, cool. Right, exactly. And so my point is that, Anthony Barry, Zinni, yes, Oakland and San Diego had oldest stadiums, but with TV revenue sharing, they were not losing money. Correct? No, they weren't. If Oakland leaves, should both cities file antitrust lawsuits against NFL like Cleveland Browns did? Yes, they should. Oakland, St. Louis, and San Diego should combine and do it. James McClellan, Zen, I really enjoyed you. Me and my uncle, who's located in Georgia, both follow you. Thank you very much. Ellis Conway, any member of Radio Stadium Club in this thread. I'm currently a Silver and Black Empire in New York. Ellis, welcome. Representing New York. Andrew Cypher, don't let people shake you down. No, not at all. He was most inappropriate. Okay? When you do that, that's outside the bounds of decency, and therefore I owe you nothing. I don't care what happens. I'm not sweating bullets. I can care less. No. People like that, when they do stuff like that, I think that's a person to be avoided. I want no contact with them. I want nothing from them, and they get nothing from me. Now. Yeah. Ramapaz, Zinni, why does Scott Winter try to discredit? I don't know. Why should I care? All right? I've been at this for, over a decade. I've had death threats from people, from, the president of Ecuador. I thought at one point if I went to this country, I'd be shot. So, I'm supposed to care about some person in some other place that I've never met before who says something about me? No. I don't like when people do it. Doesn't mean I want to meet the person, but you're asking me what I think. Why should I even think about the person? The person's nothing to me. Nothing. Who cares? I've seen this again and again and again. You have the ultra-conservatives who came after me during the Obama and run at first, and I worked with some ultra conservatives because we were both working against Hillary Clinton at the time, and then they came back later, and I've had trolls, I've had people following me, I've had everything, all right? I've had it all. So that's just one more person I have. Look, my YouTube channel has almost 70,000 views. Within that 70,000 views are some great people by and large, and a handful of really fucked up ones. Just saying. Now, well, Andrew Cybers says, I'm sorry, Zinni. You shouldn't have to deal with that part of the job, I guess, huh? Let me, I'm going to I was going to stop at midnight, but I'm going to go a little bit further because I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about that because, yeah, right, Anthony, zero tolerance tonight, right. Will I go to any Las Vegas Raider games? No. The whole point is, will I want to see the stadium? Maybe. I'm just not excited about it. I think it's a bad deal. I'm sorry. There's nothing about the whole thing that excites me. It just doesn't, because of the way it happened, the debt, everything else. And I think that there are going to be a lot of really upset people in Las Vegas and Nevada. And I thought, Steve Sisolak would be a great governor, but if this happens, the way I see, looking at those numbers, and the fact that, do you realize that in Nevada, 40% of the hotel tax goes to education, normally? So basically, they're giving up education money for football. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? A state that has no income tax. And in a situation that the voters would not have approved. So this is not, I don't care how you look at it, a great situation. It's too expensive for the Raiders. It's not politically popular. All right? Raymond Paz, Zinni is trying to save media by being honest. Thank you, Zinni. Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I was going to say, James says that some of these people are facetious with their questions. I don't mind that. And Anthony Gentile says Nevada school system is already in shambles too. Yes. And I do think Oakland has a chance to keep the Raiders. I do. All right? Who's your dad who talks about police money and fire money and public transit money? Right. And then they get chopped James. There you go. Now, Corvette said something. I'm not going to repeat it, but it's funny. It's hecka funny. Corvette. How long do you see it working out in Las Vegas for the Raiders until they decide to move again? 5 to 10 years. The key is if they sign that no relocation document. That's the key. Now, Ellis Conway, Jack won't say it publicly, but I bet he is livid over this moving crap. I remember him coming to us to talk to us when I was playing at Hayward High before a football game. He's a no BS type of guy. No, I know Jack Del Rio. He's not in favor of this. Neither are the players. Neither are the players. And the players are being taken along for a ride for something they don't want to do. And I can't see. Someone says, will this affect free agency? And I have to say, now that we're close to this, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be hard for Oakland to get players to move there knowing that they're not going to be there. This is a lot of bad stuff, man. It's just as bad. It just is. It just is. So, I was going to talk to you about YouTubers who have been harassed and in some cases killed over the years, all right? Like, there's my friend, and I'll only call her Jessica. I won't use her full name. We're still friends. But she was a person that was invited to the CNN YouTube Democratic debates in person. I was on it. I asked the coin question, and that was given to Joe Biden by Anderson Cooper. This was in 2007. Anyway, someone went over to her house and took a picture of the house, all right? and told everybody this is where she lives with her address and everything. And then they took multiple photographs, okay? And the way her place was designed, you go right up to her apartment, all right? Now, what she did by the mistake that if anyone's out there is going to be a video blogger and you achieve any level of popularity, do not affirm information that's out there. Okay? Just don't. Because what you do is this. You call the police, you identify the person, okay, and you put that person on blast on video. I've done that. I did that with the guy in Sweden who threatened to come over and visit me in the name of the Lord. I'm not making this up. Why? Because I made a video about his really, 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 really cool scale model Airbus A380. You heard that correctly. It's about 20 feet long and it flies. Okay? And it's got its own jet engine system. It flies as the actual A380 would. You know the A380 is a double-decker, right? Okay? Okay? Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. In order to talk about his great plane, I used, in total, I think 37 seconds, somewhere in there, maybe a minute, of his video over a video that in total time was 8 minutes long. 8 minutes long, and me talking. And yet he told YouTube I used his entire video, which is a total lie. The part of his videos that I used was right to use under the Stanford 4 Factors test for fair use. I'm getting into legalese. Okay, but anyway, with all that, he filed what's called a Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown, and I challenged the takedown, and I won. And he hit the ceiling. He went ballistic. So I turned around, I made another video about him, and I told him that if he comes to the United States, the Oakland police will arrest him on sight. That, and I used his face so that everybody knew what the fuck he looked like. That's what I did, okay? Because there are people out there who are, woohoo, woohoo, they're crazy. Social media has activated them. I wanted to get that out of the way. All right, now, let's see here. Okay, let's see, TJ, you know what gets me honestly upset about Vegas is they don't have a VA system. Let's see here. If they move, they got 2 years. Why not boycott and not show up the Coliseum? A number of people said that. But they don't have a VA hospital in Vegas? Ooh. Just want to say I appreciate you taking my back on Twitter today. Again, sorry if I seem like a jackass. No problem. All right, folks, it is 12:05. There's 79 watching. Now they're 83 watching. Just as I say that, every time I say, okay, folks, I'm done, it's like the needle kicks up like that. That's crazy, man. Wow. But seriously, I apologize for starting late. I'll come back tomorrow during the day with an early live stream at about, let's say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you're around. And I normally don't do a live stream on Fridays. I will do one on Saturday at the event. So I'll come back 2 o'clock tomorrow, but I'm going to get some rest because, all right? Good night, everybody. Let's say, we'll be back 2 p.m. Friday with live stream. Hey, thank you all for being so great. And remember to tweet. That's your tweet, okay? Thanks. Over and out. Over and out. Oh. Over and It's all gonna be a stone gas. Wait a minute. You can bet your last money. It's all gonna be a stone gas honey. And I am Zinni Abraham. I'm gonna get that down one of these days. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Tony Cox, thank you. Good night. See ya. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Good night. I am signing off. Thank you.